It's Marjorie. How you doing, Marjorie?
Hey, Pete.
How are you?
I thought I'd end off the week talking to you.
What did you think of my discussion with Mr. Cromwell?
I thought at least I told you, he did everything Jerome asked him to do, and he's doing a good job. He's selling the product, and when you,
Is that his job to do whatever Jerome tells him to?
No, honey, no, but it's to tell the truth. The PCs are telling the truth. This is Denny's project that Denny started. Denny can see way down the road where the other people can't see, and you'll see in the end, and Jerome is doing a good job of selling them. I've been out twice now.
I saw a picture of you recently, surrounded by a good party faithful there. Yes, yeah.
Oh.
First time I ever saw a picture of you. Somebody put it on Twitter. Someone had a picture of you with a bunch of, I think Danny Cromwell was there, and Jerome, and...
I tell you, now, know where that's at?
Tom Marshall wasn't there. He was going to be something disappointed he missed that.
No, honey, he lets me out. He wants me to stay involved in the party to make it exciting. He lets me out every now and then. I'll go out to convention with him now and then ago, and I'll spend all my time sitting down with him. No, that's out to my Keith Hutchings fundraiser last night.
Right.
I saw all the PCs, and you see me alongside of my darling. And now, listen, I tell you, by the way, I'm telling you now, when Jerome goes out to do this, in case we get any hecklers, he's going to do the talk and explain, and I'm going to be there to make sure anybody don't heckle and keep their mouth shut.
I would love for Jerome Kennedy to get an hour on TV where he can have all of the technology he wants, all of the perfect graphs, and explain in detail every aspect of this, or as best he can, to the layperson, so that they have a much better insight on how this makes sense.
If you went out, I went out to Paul Lane's, because Jerome was the speaker.
Yeah, I heard Mr. Kennedy give a very good speech on it.
And he did a very good, and I have no doubt. But I didn't need Jerome to tell me. Once Danny said this was a project that he was starting, Danny had a foresight. He could see way down the road, worked way long on the hours. He didn't take muskrat faults on. And I hope we never have nothing to do with Quebec. Now with that bunch of things we got up there now, that's all we need now to be with Quebec with her.
I don't know, Mary. I know what you're saying. I know it'd be a hard pill to swallow. But somehow, if you're going to get something that's going to be a major, boost to your economy, if you can get something for 20% over a long term, 20% of what you can provide for yourself.
You can't trust it. But I have faith. You're a bright boy, and you listen. If I can understand, you'll be able to understand for sure. And Tom Marshall is not going to sit down and have to give us something. And as hard as he works to fix the economy for the people and try to give to those that don't have, do you think he's going to? Why wouldn't we give it a thought that he'd ever do that?
Marjorie, this is what I hope. I hope once it goes through, and I know it's going to go through and it's going to get built, and I'm hoping once it gets built somehow or somewhere down the line, they're going to be able to say, okay, this is what we couldn't tell you for these reasons. There were a whole bunch of reasons, legal and competition and all sorts of things. We couldn't really give you the full picture of why it was so important to do it, and this is why it was so important to do it. Now you know, and we wish we could have told you earlier because it would have explained a lot of things. I'm hoping that's the case because there's something in my mind. There's still something missing.
I'll tell you about what give me faith. When Jerome does these things, the cases he takes, and he goes before the jury. We're going to be the jury, and when he's finished explaining to us, beyond a reasonable doubt.
Well, I think it's going ahead regardless of whether we're convinced or not.
They never said that. Listen, I tell you, the Liberals are in disarray. They don't know if they're coming or going. The NDP don't know when to give them $12,000 they spend and said they didn't know. So if they don't know about $12,000, how are they going to know anything else?
Yeah, but the opposers go far beyond the opposition. There's a lot of people not in politics.
We have Danny bashers, people that wouldn't want to see Danny. To have his dream to go out, the last thing he did work. Oh no, we have lots of them rotten Danny bashers.
Well, they're not necessarily Danny bashers, but they're Muskrat Falls bashers.
They want that damn deal to fail because they say, there he goes, he had his mouth grown again, like one fellow was.
I think there are people who are looking at it specifically and only for the project.
They don't explain it no better against than the PCs explains for it.
Well, they asked some good questions that I haven't heard good, solid, and convincing arguments.
But we'll get there. You just followed your own now around on the circuit. And by the way, what I came on for, I almost forgot now because Danny Cravel tried me with
we only got 30 seconds now.
Well, okay, but listen to Marcocchio. I'm telling him right now, if he don't stop bashing Paddy daily, he won't be getting on there because he won't have a tongue to get on there. And I hope Paddy don't let him on no more. And the nerve of him to say.
But it's entertaining.
No, that's not entertaining me. That drives me right crazy. And I rang him to let that dirtbag on. Tell Paddy let him talk in that vote. And then when I heard how he treated Paddy, and then to tell Paddy that's not Paddy's show, he's not a patch on Paddy Daly's arse. Anyway, well, that's after 30 seconds. But you better leave Paddy alone. If he got nothing else to do with his time, go to hell back where he came from.
Paddy,
that Greenpeace crowd, or I'd tear his eyes out.
Paddy is fully capable of defending himself.
But he shouldn't have. No, but he shouldn't have to do that. He shouldn't have to be stressed out like that. And I
stressed out. He loves it.
Dirtbag on again.
Paddy loves the scrap.
No, but there's no need of that. I mean, Paddy, that's our Paddy, and I don't know where the hell the other fella came from. But he better shut his mouth and let Paddy know, or I'll send him back where he came from. And he won't have to worry about it. Anyway, that's what I called in for now.
I appreciate it.